I present to you a brief recap of the plot of the first season of Secret Invasion. Let's go. In the distant past, the Skrull race was at war with the Kree race. The Skrulls lost and their planet was destroyed. The survivors hid in distant corners of the universe, but the Kree still hunt them. Skrulls are resistant to radiation, have the ability to take any form, and also possess technology that allows them to read the memory of living beings. All this makes them elusive spies. As we know from the movie Captain Marvel, a small group of Skrulls came to Earth and eventually made a deal with Nick Fury. He promised to settle their race on our planet or find another, and in return asked them to become spies for him. They agreed and for many years served him faithfully. But Fury did not fulfill his promise. Some of the Skrulls decided to take matters into their own hands, and secretly began to prepare a conspiracy. In Moscow, Everett Ross meets with a CIA agent who believes that the Skrull race is trying to take over planet. After a brief conversation, the man attacks Ross, believing him to be an alien, and the hero is forced to kill him. Suddenly, another person starts hunting him and fatally wounds Ross. Then Maria Hill appears and at first does not understand what is happening. The man who killed the agent transforms into Talos, and Ross turns out to be a Skrull conspirator. Soon Nick Fury arrives on Earth, and we understand that after the jump he has lost his former strength and influence. Talos explains that the rebellious Skrulls, led by Gravik, want to unleash a nuclear war between Russia and America, after which they will take over the planet as they are not afraid of radiation. Nick Fury tries to learn more about the rebellious Skrulls. Suddenly, the hero is kidnapped by Mi-6 agents and brought to his old acquaintance Sonya Falseworth. He tells her about the conspiracy, and that the Skrulls have most likely infiltrated the highest levels of power in many countries. But Sonya does not want to cooperate with Nick, considering him old and frail. Nevertheless, Fury finds out the information he needs with the help of a spy camera. Together with Talos, they find another Skrull and learn about a planned attack in Moscow, for which they want to blame the Americans. Talos contacts his daughter Gaia. She works for Gravik and believes that Talos and Fury betrayed them by not fulfilling their promises. However, the father informs Gaia that Gravik killed her mother, and that there's another way to find a homeland for their race rather than killing humanity. The girl begins to doubt her leader, and still believes that the Skrulls should solve their own problems. The next day, the heroes try to stop the attack, but the villains outsmart them, explosions occur, and Gravik kills Maria Hill. Talos and Fury get on a train and try to leave Russia. Along the way, the hero learns that about 1 million Skrulls are currently living on the planet, whom Talos invited here without permission. The alien reminds Nick that he promised to find a home for them, but Fury says it's impossible. They will never be accepted on Earth, as humans can't even agree among themselves, and he has not found another suitable planet for them. The heroes argue and part ways for a time. During this time, Gravik meets with the Skrull Council and, through threats, makes them appoint him as the general of their army, giving him full freedom of action. Gravik and Gaia return to their base, which is located at an abandoned nuclear station in Russia because of radiation. Humans do not appear there, but their race feels comfortable. Gaia, after all, takes Talos' side and secretly starts spying for her father. She learns that Gravik has created technology to enhance the Skrulls previously. They could not copy superpowers, only appearances. Moreover, Gravik has somehow obtained the DNA of several super beings and transformed himself, becoming a super Skrull. Meanwhile, Sonya Falseworth decides to verify Fury's words about the conspiracy, and interrogates one of the captured Skrulls, learning that the conspiracy truly exists. and that Gravik has built a device allowing the enhancement of the Skrulls. Towards the end of the season, she finds the scientists who built this device, and from them learns the location of the aliens' base. Fury meets with Colonel James Rhodes, who is now more of a politician. The man blames Fury for the attack. Rhodes does not believe Nick's words about the Skrull conspiracy, thinking that he has gone mad, and dismisses him from service. However, Fury is not ready to give up and decides to deal with the aliens himself. Soon, the hero returns home, and we learn that he has a wife named Vara, and she is a Skrull, which Nick, of course, knows. They met a long time ago and fell in love with each other, but now their relationship is complicated as Vara works for Gravik. After some time, Fury goes to meet with Talos, and they make peace, then decide to stop the villains. Gaia informs her father that Gravik is preparing another attack. He wants to launch a missile from a British submarine at a UN airplane. The heroes find a naval headquarters officer, who turns out to be a Skrull, and under torture try to learn the code to cancel the launch. Talos accidentally kills the officer, and the men urgently call Gaia. She learns the code from a person in a memory extraction device, after which the heroes manage to prevent the attack. But Gravik learns about Gaia's betrayal and kills her. However, it turns out that the girl secretly also made herself a Super Skrull and can now regenerate. Gaia meets with Talos, and the man asks the girl to join them. But she believes that her father trusts Nick Fury too much and naively thinks that their race will be able to negotiate with people. Talos thinks that when they stop the conspiracy, the President of the United States will give them territory, where they could live in peace with humanity. Although Gaia does not believe in her father's idea, she is not against helping him, as she considers Gravik's methods too cruel. Meanwhile, Vara, Fury's wife, meets with Rhodes, and we learn that he is also a Skrull. The Colonel orders the woman to kill her husband, or they will get rid of her. Fury is eavesdropping on them at this time. When Vara returns home, Nick tries to understand whose side his wife is really on. Ultimately, she admits that she will never harm him. The hero visits Rhodes and invites him to have a drink with him. Nick pretends that he does not know about his true form. The Colonel again demands that Fury stop searching for the conspiracy, ending the meeting on this note. But during this meeting, Nick slips a liquid GPS beacon into Rhodes' drink. The heroes are aware that Gravik is planning an assassination attempt on the President of the United States, and they find him because Rhodes is practically his right hand. Gravik and his men, disguised as Russian soldiers, attack the convoy with the President, and they almost manage to kill him. But then the heroes appear and save him. However, Gravik kills Talos. Fury takes the President to the hospital and tries to convince him that the attackers were not Russians but Skrulls, but he is unconscious. The hero tries to prevent the villains from reaching the President, but Rhodes appears with security and Nick has to hide. Gravik orders the Colonel not to kill the President, as in his opinion, the attack is enough to carry out his plan. Soon, Rhodes tells the President a story that the Skrulls have teamed up with the Russians, hence suggests launching a nuclear strike on the alien base located in Russia, but this will lead to the beginning of a war. The President is doubtful, but Rhodes insists on a nuclear strike. A bit earlier, Gravik returns to the base where his close assistant criticizes him for the failed operation. And for not keeping his promises, Gravik kills him, leading to unrest among the Skrulls. Several aliens decide to overthrow their leader, but he, using his powers, kills all the dissatisfied. After that, Gravik learns that Vara has not completed her task and has not killed Nick Fury. He sends assassins after her, but by that time Gaia has caught up with her, and together they defeat the villains. Gaia meets with Fury and learns about her father's death. She tells him that Gravik's main goal is not just to take over the Earth. He has been long searching for an object called the Harvest, and it turns out Fury knows what it is. Moreover, only he knows where the Harvest is located. This is precisely why the villain has not killed the hero when he had the chance. Several years ago, during the battle with Thanos, many superheroes literally shed their blood. Fury understood that someone might use it, so he sent his people to collect all the Defenders' DNA at the battle site. Essentially, this collection of DNA is the so-called Harvest. Soon, Gravik contacts Fury and proposes an exchange. He will stop the nuclear war, and the hero will give him the Harvest. Nick and Gaia join forces with Sonya and come up with a plan to stop the villain. Fury arrives at the Skrull base and meets with Gravik. He gives him a vial with DNA. The villain inserts it into his machine and starts the transformation process. While inside with Fury, Gravik thinks that the man will die from a massive dose of radiation, but it turns out that it's not Fury, but Gaia, who has taken his appearance. Now both Skrulls have acquired a huge number of superpowers, and they begin to fight each other. Ultimately, Gaia defeats the villain, and then they free the people who have been held captive by the Skrulls for a long time. Meanwhile, Fury and Sonya infiltrate the hospital, kill the decoy Rhodes, and convince the president to cancel the nuclear strike. Sometime later, the President of the United States issues a decree in which any aliens are considered hostile. This leads to chaos and public killings of both real Skrulls, and random people mistakenly taken for them. Fury is displeased with the President's decision. He asks his wife Vara to fly with him into space, where he is still building an orbital station named Saber, and they leave Earth together. Meanwhile, Sonya contacts Gaia, offering cooperation on equal terms, and she agrees. End of the first season. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and comment below. I also have a Buy Me Coffee account where you can financially support my content. The link is in the description. Thank you for watching. See you later.